Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, as always, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night, the second week of November 1987, and the AWA is traveling to Las Vegas, Nevada. So here we are at the screen to select our venue, and of course, we're going to check the Showboat Sports Pavilion. So go ahead and we got that selected. Obviously, we're giving up quite a few seats here, but this is a hotbed for us, and frankly, it's our only option for running in Las Vegas. So let's head back to the main screen here, see what else is going on. We don't have any backstage incidents, which is good, but this is who we're missing for tonight's show. We are going to look into dropping Alex Knight and Frankie DeFalco. They are very rarely available to us, and we're going to go ahead and make a note of that right now. I see no reason to keep them on at this point, especially since we have imported a whole lot of enhancement talent. Nothing against DeFalco and Knight. I think they're both good enhancement workers, but it just doesn't do anything for us at this point. They're missing way too many shows. So that leaves us ready to go ahead and book this one out. Very simple entrance here, folks. So let's take a look at our card for tonight. Vivian St. John is going to open up against Reggie Bennett. The Top Guns are going to battle the healthy Texas Hangmen. Ali Khan is going to face DJ Peterson. Colonel DeBeers is mixing it up with Jerry Blackwell. Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey is going to battle the West Coast legend Ray Stevens. Rip Oliver is going to lock horns with Jerry the King Lawler. In a brutal technical match, Mr. Saito will face Bob Backlund. And in our main event, the Midnight Express are going to challenge the Midnight Rockers for the World Tag Team title. Let's get to booking. All right, in our opener, folks, St. John versus Bennett. And after we're done booking this card today, I have already made the preparations for the following week when we enter our next block of cards, which, as I've told you already, we've added towns. So it is going to actually be 12 towns that we're running now instead of the 9 that we were running. So we're making some changes to our roster. Some you may not like, some you may agree with. But I'll show you what's going on and the changes we're going to make. Obviously, in the game world, we're not doing this until next week because we're still using all of the wrestlers, but you'll see what I mean. So let's take a look here and see who won the last match. Reggie Bennett won the last time, so we're going to put over Vivian St. John here. All right, St. John's got the win. Once again, the sister of Brian St. John, who was a Florida mainstay and was a hell of a wrestler. And so is Vivian St. John. The Top Guns and the Texas Hangmen. Both these teams continue to gobble up experience, which is important in their development. And as I've said before, the Top Guns lacked in talent, but they looked really good. And they got quite the pops from people wherever they worked. And this is the first incarnation of the Top Guns. John Paul would leave the AWA in like 1989, late 88, and he would be replacing the Top Guns with none other than Derek Dukes. So there's always some confusion when people look back at 1987, 1988 of who the Top Guns really were, but that was the first incarnation of the Top Guns. And the Texas Hangman here, of course, is Bull Payne. The wrestler who would beat Bull Payne, his real name's Frank Vizzi, and Mike Moran. And again, Tom Bennett or Tom Benninghouse later on would tag with Moran. Bennett would become Strangler, and they would have another incarnation of the Texas Hangman. But here at this time, it's those two men. And of course, they are managed by Don Carson. We brought Don Carson in. We felt they needed a manager, and it's worked out very well. So let's go ahead and see who won the last time. The Texas Hangman won the last time. So we're going to have the Top Guns take this one. Now that's 2 babyface wins in a row. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep that in check. So Ali Khan is going to battle DJ Peterson. And I think Khan won the last time these two wrestled. but offhand I don't recall. So here is our Afghan communist, and he's going to face DJ Peterson. And we'll take a look to see who got the last win. Yeah, DJ Peterson won. Our heel needs to win here, so we're going to put Ali Khan over, and he is managed by Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey. So an Afghan communist is managed by an Arab sheik, of course. And we're going to go ahead and book that one up so Khan gets the win. A dirty win at that. And next we got DeBeers and Blackwell. And I think Colonel DeBeers got the win the last time. But we'll double check that. Yep, he did. So Jerry Blackwell's going to go over this time. And in just a little while here in January of '88, Jerry Blackwell is going to launch his own promotion. Hi, Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey is going to face Ray Stevens. This one goes 14. And we're going to leave this one open. I have a feeling Ray Stevens is going to go over. Next, we got Rip Oliver once again facing Jerry Lawler. This one's going 16. We're going to leave this one open-ended, although I'm certain that Jerry Lawler is also going to take this one. And for those of you that haven't watched previous shows, we have signed additional enhancement talents. These are wrestlers that I added to the game months ago that I finally imported. So there's a lot more enhancement talent. And like I said, I like to keep the enhancement talent, a lot of them. I try to keep it as fresh as possible. So, see, I ignored my own booking here. We're going to leave this one open-ended. All right, and our second to last match here, Mr. Saito and Bob Backlund. I can't recall who went over the last time. So there's Mr. Saito. Now we're going to plug in Bob Backlund. We're in. Let's take a look. Backlund won the last time, so Saito is going to go over this time. And it's going to be a tainted win. In our big main event, it's going to be the Midnight Express versus the Midnight Rockers. And the Express are chasing the Rockers, attempting to get back their tag team title that the Midnight Rockers took from them in Winnipeg just a little while ago in the game world. So we are going to have the Midnight Rockers go over clean here. Shawn Michaels is going to get the win. It's going to be an epic. And we're going to keep this feud running hot. This may be the last time these two teams face, but we'll take a look and see what I booked out for the next set. And we'll see what I ended up doing for that one. Offhand, I don't recall. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Marty Miller is refereeing too much. Well, he's not on that card, that match. He was on that one. Give that one to Fonzie. And we're all set here, folks. Our typical 2-hour, 22-minute bout. We're going to go ahead and start this show. St. John and Bennett get a 23 overall. It's understandable. They're not that accustomed to the wrestling in the Southwest. The Top Guns go over the Hangmen just like we planned. And not a bad number for two very inexperienced teams. You can see Both teams are picking up popularity, and it's helping their overall score. Ali Khan hits that power slam on DJ Peterson and gets the win after Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey cheats. This one gets a 43 overall. Again, not bad for two inexperienced guys who have really only been wrestling in this region for 6 months at this point, so that's not bad. This is a little bit disappointing of a score, only a 66 for these two men. But Jerry Blackwell gets the win with that impressive drop kick he would lay down. Let's see if there's not anything else going on here with these two. And there isn't. So obviously it's just they're not that well over in this region. So there you go. Ray Stevens takes another one from Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey here with a 72 overall. Very nice. And Ray Stevens is showing his age, but al-Kaissey is not. He's still in real good shape here. I think the difference between these two men in real life, honestly, was Adnan al-Kaissey really took care of himself. Ray Stevens was a party animal. So that's pretty accurate depiction here. All right, Lawler over Oliver with a real nice score of 81 here in the Southwest. Very nice score for these two. Let's see what Saito and Backlund does. 82 for Saito and Backlund. Not bad. Saito wins the match with some sneaky tactics. He hit Backlund with a foreign object that keeps this feud hot. Good stuff. Let's see if either of these two are showing. They're not. They're still solid. Neither one of them are showing any age issues. That's good. Looked it up the other day. Saito had his last match when he was 57 years old in 1999. So he's still going strong here. He's got another 12 years. He's going to continue to work. Saito is a very interesting guy. He became a liaison between United States Promotions and New Japan Pro Wrestling. He continued after the AWA folded, and he left the AWA. Technically, he had left the AWA in May of 1987. So I didn't depict that in this game. I will for the next version of the Supermod. We will make that adjustment that he's no longer under contract with the AWA and the starting point of May. I stand corrected. He originally left in April of 1987. So we'll make that adjustment for the next version of the Supermod mod. That's how it goes, folks. You just learn. You continue learning, and then you plug these things in. And he returned to Japan, where he wrestled for New Japan and worked tours with New Japan. And then he eventually came back to the AWA and was still working for New Japan. And then when the AWA folded, he became like a liaison for WCW in New Japan. And he worked heavily with Scott Norton and helped Scott Norton become what he became in New Japan. He's a very interesting character, Mr. Saito. Unfortunately, he passed away, I think just a few years ago. And he was a very, very good wrestler. He was also an Olympian for Greco-Roman wrestling. He's a very interesting character, had a very long career in the ring, and was a real true talent in pro wrestling. So he gets the win over Bob Backlund here in Las Vegas. And let's get to our main event. Only a 79 overall. This is very disappointing. 89, 85, 84, 62, and somehow we're dropped all the way down to 79. That is disappointing. But again, we're in the Southwest. This probably plays a factor. Randy Rose is sandbagging us, but Randy Rose was good with Dennis Condrey. So that's the issue. That's a disappointing score overall. This might be one of the lowest scores between these two teams. But what are you going to do? Let's go ahead and finish up here. Let's see how we did overall and if we got any popularity gains. So we did. We got a 78 overall, which is a little disappointing to me, but we still got a popularity gain. So we have to give Masa Saito, Mr. Saito, some praise. We got to give Jerry Lawler some praise. And we also have to give DJ Peterson some credit because he took the loss helping to develop another guy. So Saito had a great performance. So did Lawler. And of course, Peterson had a good performance also. We're going to make our speech. Saito's pleased. Good. Lawler's pleased. And DJ Peterson's happy. There's another happy we got, folks. All right, let's take a look about what's going on for the future here. So, starting next week in the game world, we are beginning our new block. Notice I changed the colors to differentiate, and we have a 4-week block now, okay? So we are running 12 cities total as compared to the 9 we were running. So when we open up in St. Paul, you can see that here's the fresh card that we've changed. We've brought in Tom Zank. And notice this in the main event. Bob Backlund is going to start challenging for the World Heavyweight title. Do you think perhaps something is going to happen there? Is somebody going to make a turn? We'll just have to see. And what is this at the end here of the game week? Saito and Zbyszko versus Bockwinkel and Stevens. Is Nick Bockwinkel going to make some kind of change? In the real world, folks, Kurt Hennig had already been a heel for some time. In the game world, we did not go that route, but we may now. Now that may very well be happening. Nick Bockwinkel in the real world also made a face turn, rode out the end of his time in the AWA as a babyface, and that may be what's taking place here. We'll have to see, folks. So let's, we could take a look further back. I was about to say we're starting to do that thing where it wouldn't release. So here's the way our new roster looks. We're going to cut a couple lady wrestlers, and we're going to cut Mitch Snow, Assassin, Buddy Wolf, the 2 lady wrestlers. We're going to cut Jamie West, Reggie Bennett. We're also going to cut Sonny Rogers. And we're going to make some turns here. We're going to turn Kurt Hennig heel. We're going to turn Nick Bockwinkel face. Now, we're not going to do these until next week, obviously. We also have some television tapings coming up. So we have new wrestlers on our card for the new block of tours. Obviously, we signed Tom Zink, as we talked about. We signed Derek Dukes. We signed Tommy Jammer. And folks, I owe Russ Francis an apology. I have kind of knocked him in this game, and I shouldn't have. Russ Francis was a second-generation wrestler. He was also a big-time pro football player. His brother, Bill Francis, was also wrestling. They would even tag on occasion. Those two started, Russ Francis started wrestling in 1974. So this guy's got 13 years of experience already by the time 1987 rolls around. His football career is over, but he does have a lot of pro wrestling experience. So we're going to keep Russ Francis around, and he's going to get into the regular rotation on the tours. Same thing with Ray Stevens. Same thing with Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey. They are going to be regulars on the tours. We're no longer going to consider them special appearance workers. And we've trimmed up our roster here. We got everything tight. And those are the wrestlers we're going to get rid of. The other wrestlers are who we're going to keep on here for a while. I may change my mind again before next week, but for right now, that's what we're going to do. So I just wanted to go over that with you folks and let you know what's going on, what the plans are for the future, really. All right, what's going on in our inbox here? All Star Wrestling gets a real nice score, 868,000 people watching. Randy Rose, of course, is tired because he's working for 6 other promotions on top of us. Wrestlers taking over Hollywood. There you go. They're talking about The Running Man. Jesse the Body Ventura did another movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I never saw The Running Man. I know that's pretty surprising because I'm a big fan of a lot of 80s stuff, especially action movies, but I never saw The Running Man. I'm going to have to check it out. Got new champions in Stampede Wrestling. Duke Myers and Kerry Brown took the title. Good for them. And let's take a look at what we made notes of here. Frankie DeFalco and Alex Knight. So here is Alex Knight. We're going to release him. And here is Frankie DeFalco. We are also going to release him. So let's take a look at our roster for enhancement talent. There's Frankie DeFalco. And let's find Alex Knight here. There's Alex Knight. So both these two are gone now. And we won't have to worry about them not being available. There's Jake Milliman. We're going to plug him up higher. Not that this order means anything. It does, on the other spreadsheet, I put this in order in what I considered value for our wrestlers, but not for tag teams. That didn't matter. Let's go ahead and make our adjustment here. Otherwise, I'll forget and I'll accidentally book the wrong show twice. Or I'll book the wrong show. I'll use the wrong card. I've done it before. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for us here for this show. If you have not done so already, please consider subscribing, share our show, and give us a like. Also, drop us a comment. Let us know what you think. It has been a lot of fun doing this with everybody. The feedback has been fantastic. Keep it coming. Let's continue to talk. Speaking of talking, if you want to talk about this save more, join us on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. That's Facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. Also, if you do not have a copy of version 7.0 of the Supermod yet, and you would like a copy of it, I'll be more than happy to send you a link that'll take you to where you can download the database and the picture pack. Just go to braddrake.net, drop me a line, and I'll be more than happy to set you up. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow with more AWA wrestling action. So long for now.